All right, apologies in advance for the mess, y'all. It is a disaster zone in here. So, anyways, we got some valence work and a couple new freight cars, modern ones at that. So, as always, let's jump on into it. All right, so first thing you'll notice, the valence on this side is gone. Um, Real quick though, along with that, a lot of the areas where you see the mud on there and the tape, that is all sanded smooth. So it is technically ready for primer and paint. I'm going to get to it. I've got a work session on August 20th, which I've got Ron and another gentleman coming back. So hopefully that means we can actually get to it and get it worked on. Anyways, in any event, the main thing I did tonight is for the long wall, at least you can see here, I finished redoing the valance support structure. And it's all in. I ran out of screws, so I finally had a reason to get me Starhead 1 5/8 inch self-threading wood screws. Those are so much nicer than drywall screws for doing this stuff. I love it. But you see the stuff is, and everything stored up top, everything off of there is all the way over there, and then Will's diamond module is sitting right down there. But the reason for that is, as I mentioned, I finished this, and you can see where I got the one support there. Almost finished. I need to take that piece of 1x4, trim it to length, and run it from here the rest of the way all the way over there. And then the next project after that is, well, if I come around the end of the pencil, you can see it. So if you look up the top, really janky framing versus nice, straight, clean, neat. Y'all can see the difference. So, anyways, that's the next thing that's coming up. All these 1x2s, all this, all that is, that's fixing to come down, and this is going to be built out into a box frame, exactly the same as that over there. And as you can tell on this side, when I did the valance over here, I brought it up higher because this was too low. I didn't like looking over it and seeing this head so much and it being really, really easy. Just look up there and see all the wiring for the work lights and RGB LED strips and everything else. So there's that. But the other thing, since I'm doing that, I am going to go ahead and do the long planned module framing swap. So valance is coming down. I'll store it up top like I've got the pieces for this side stored. All those 1x are coming down. We are going to make the box frame out of ripped 3/4 plywood, exactly the same as I've done everywhere else. So yeah, it is finally time to get in there. Sheet of 4x8 sheet of 3/4 plywood. I'm probably just going to drop the $60 and get a piece of sanded because the prices have actually come down enough that I can get sanded for a good price. But all that's coming down. Modules are coming up, and then all this bulky framework over there is coming out. And I'm putting the new design for the support structure here, which also means that post can probably come out. And the one over here on this side, right, well, here, it can come out in the sense it's not going to be here anymore because it's probably just going to move back. So this module frame I'm keeping. Those two I'm keeping because I made those out of 2-inch wide strips of ripped plywood. So guess what? They're already perfectly square and they're straight and everything. that's how I should have built everything else. But the replacement frames for this side is built like that. I've already laid them out. Everything matches up. I've tested them by sitting them on top of this. It all works. And again, everything is connected by barrier strip underneath there. So all the main wiring is, it's just undo it from screw terminals. It's all labeled exactly what it is. So it's undo the wiring from the screw terminals, disconnect the cable clamps from the frames, and literally lift the sub-row bed with everything attached to it, the wiring, the torus machines, all of it, just off the old frame, drop it on the new frame. And that's literally all there's going to be to it. So, and just because it's been so long since I've talked about it, for those of you who don't remember or didn't hear it, when we first did this, the condition was don't put anything in the wall. I've since convinced the powers that be to give a little bit of leeway on that. That's why, like, the valance frame up top is not really going anywhere, because there's a couple spots right along there that well, you can see one of them there. It's 3.5 inch long screw into a wall stud, and same thing over on that side. It's just not going anywhere. The reason I'm doing this, well, you can't really see it, but this whole thing still has way too much wobble in it for my taste. And that support structure is really thick and bulky. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the metal channel for like the Walmart wall mount shelving system like you'd put in your garage. And that's going to come across like this. Luan plywood is going to screw into that. And then the outside frame will be a 3 or 2 inch wide strip of ripped 3/4 inch plywood. And Luan on top of that, that's literally going to make a shelf, and the module just sits on that. So the idea is it's a lot more like I originally envisioned. The concept for this whole layout was not necessarily take on the road modules, but at least part of it modules that if I ever have to move, I can take it with me. That whole side is actually dismantleable, because again, I use screws for everything. None of this bench work is glued together. And that can separate in 2 halves. That'd be a lot more unwieldy to do, but it could be done, because again, everything is screws. You could separate it. So but anyways, so yes, that is all. This whole peninsula is the next massive thing. The Sears show is not until June of next year, so the idea is, again, since everything is already kind of prepped in how to do it, streamline, I know how I want to do the support structure. I'm going to try and have this massive project wrapped up by the end of the year. A couple of new things as far as locomotives and rolling stock. I'm still dealing with a gremlin in the wiring on the Challenger, so it's sitting there. Might sit for a little while longer. Old car that I've had but you have never seen, SLGG. This was sitting in the tub for, well, ever since we got here. And when we went to the Aniata show, that was the first time I had it out since we moved. So that was the first time in 2.5 years it turned the track. It needs coupler swap because it has the stupid split jaws on it. And then new cars I did get, Walter's mainline center being flat, off a Facebook group, the TNM box car at the Aniata show, mainline auto rack at the Aniata show, and the one in era car I got. So I know about 2 things in Aniata. The one in era car that I got was okay, you can't really see it, but it's a, well, yeah, my shadow's in the way. Shippers Car Line Corporation, single dome 10,000 gallon tank car. Have another one of Ron's Pensy engines over here. That's one of the T1 duplexes. And then, like I said, I got Will's modules moved other places. So that's pretty much all that's in here. We'll pop out to the garage real quick and I'll show you the progress on the first module rack that I started building. Alright, so I'll try and make this fairly succinct and quick because phone battery's low. Peanuts is over there working on track stuff. But anyway, started making a module rack. So this will fit 2x4, so this will fit everything except for my corner module that's getting worked on. But ironically enough, this is a pre-cut 2x4 sanded plywood that they sell pre-cut in a 2x4 piece at Lowe's. So I got that. I used some of the old support studs for the valance that I pulled down. And then on the back, we've got, I think it's 16 gauge or whatever, aluminum angle iron, which I went ahead and marked and drilled out the holes. One side I did with the drill press. No, I did both sides with the drill press, excuse me. And then the other end is just a regular piece of flat stock that I did both of these with the drill press too. So I have a mounting block here, screws going in this way, 2 screws, long ones coming up from the bottom on all 4 of those. One end of the bottom over here, and then I've got on the back, you see one screw there. So this is going to have to be a module that's about 6 inches shorter, which is I am going to have one because Ron is building a mirror image corner of that, and that is actually 6 inches over 3 foot. So the straight that goes between that one and the mirror corner is going to be 6 inches shorter. So it would fit on the bottom, and then the rest of the regular 2x4s will fit on the top. So I know that piece is wobbly, but I am going to add more to it. We'll have stuff on the sides, stuff on the rear, and everything else. And then where you see the other heights is where I'm going to run a piece of ripped 3/4 inch ply, 2 inches wide across. That's going to hold it in place. And then each shelf will have Luan plywood on it, and you'll slide the modules on the shelf. There's 9 inches of clearance for each shelf. Technically 1.5 inches more for that bottom one, but that's going to be fine because the modules will be 6 inches at their deepest, a couple inches for track to clear it, and then all the scenery is going to be removable to begin with. So all the hills, all the buildings, there'll be separate pieces that you just pull up, and then when you sit down show, put them on there. When you're done, pull it up, and I'll store those in separate bins, probably above the valance, which is one of the reasons why I'm bulking up all that framework. So that got started, working away on it. And this is going to be a rush because this is one of the things that I'm hoping to put the modules that Ron is hopefully going to build here really, really soon on for the NMRA SEER convention next year. And then we'll have a separate 3x4 foot one that will hold this corner, the mirror image, and both halves of the 4x6, which is currently being used as a bench to set this on. Go figure. Anyways, before the battery dies real quick, Rich, give them the brief version synopsis of what all of you did tonight on this.
Moved everything.
Okay, that's too brief.
First thing you did was plot where our radius is actually going to go. So we defined our endpoints from the radius over here, and then used the setback and through the line. We started out with the 36-inch radius, which actually shows here. And what we figured out, what we figured out is the short pico wide fits really nicely there, and we were able to increase the angle of the diamond to 25 degrees. So this is a off-the-shelf 25-degree angle with a continuing curve here. Fits nice, and then we're going to wind up with 4-inch track centers between the two turnouts on this side.
So the idea is that it will still match when it's in the Code 100 3-inch, and then the 5 and the Code 83 7. So as long as there's some way to get between all three tracks over here, I can use both routes, and if worse comes to worse, I can still run the 7-inch right here through it.
Actually, that's 5.5, 1.5.
Yeah, but they'll be offset.
Right. So you would be able to connect to any 3 and 7-inch module.
And then of course it narrows down right there, and then that leg of the Y goes on to another 2x4. It's going to be there, and that will be how we connect up to anybody else, because that's going to go down to single track, and that's going to be Fremo. That's going to be more of our stuff, whichever standard we want, fiddle yard, whatever. So anyways, that's gonna about do it for the update, and more to come. A lot of stuff, but yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon so I get notified. Not that I mind our way, but it does help the wacky algorithm, and that is a good thing. So as always, take care, God bless. Say goodbye, Peanuts. Okay. See you next time, folks.